The more you learn about the world and the people in it, you quickly realize just how beautiful and diverse it is.
Precisely.
The main problem with cultural appropriation comes from dominant groups borrowing from marginalized groups who face oppression or have been stigmatized for their cultural practices throughout history.
No, they haven't been stigmatized because of their cultural practices. They've been stigmatized because of racism.
Like cornrows. People have actually been fired for wearing braids. Meanwhile, fashion models and celebs like Kylie Jenner get praised for wearing cornrows. And that's the main point. One group is being penalized by institutions for wearing natural hairstyles, while the other is called edgy and stylish for doing the exact same thing.
Are you seriously comparing a fashion icon with people who work in insurance? The people who are being fired because of their corn braids are probably being fired because it's inappropriate to wear corn braids in their job, like in my old job at a law firm. Now, I'm no betting man, but I'd be willing to bet on the fact that in the cases where people have been fired for their corn braids, white people would have also been fired had they been wearing corn braids. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure that people like Kylie Jenner get celebrated whatever their hair looks like because their job is to look stylish and fashionable. In the same industry as Kylie Jenner, i.e. the industry of celebrity, people who wear corn braids are celebrated for their corn braids no matter what their race. Case in point, Beyoncé, who is highly regarded for her style, whatever she chooses to wear.
Well, I don't find it offensive, and I asked someone from that culture and they said it was okay. Well, it's not your culture that's being disrespected, so sure, you don't find it offensive. And if you know someone from that background who doesn't mind her tattoo, costume, or whatever, that's cool. But remember that one person doesn't speak for all members of that community.
Unless, of course, that one person is you, right? That argument that one person doesn't represent the whole culture is equally valid if that one person is someone getting offended because of some perceived transgression on your part.
Whatever. Fashion, art, film, music always borrows from other sources. Plus, it doesn't hurt anyone.
No, it doesn't.
A couple years ago, Katy Perry did a geisha-themed performance with Japanese women dancing in the background.
Uh-oh.
Not only was it super stereotypical, her outfit wasn't even from the right country. And that kind of crushes the idea that appropriation is harmless.
Damn it, you're right. Wait a minute, hold on, you still haven't told me who was harmed. You rascal, you. All this tells us is that Katy Perry is pretty ignorant. A shocking discovery.
You're just trying to tell everyone what to think.
Oh, yes, finally you admit it.
Hello, thought police. Nobody's telling you what to think, wear, or say.
But you see why it sounds that way, right?
Marginalized people can't stop you from doing your thing, even if they wanted to.
Nope, they can't.
But if you think you have the right to use any cultural tradition just cause, that's where you get into oppressive territory.
Who's being oppressed exactly?
And if you genuinely don't care if someone is hurt by your appropriation, that's just crappy.
No, I do care if people are hurt. I don't care if they're offended. Do you see the difference there? Oh dear. You clearly have never actually been hurt, have you?
If Chinese people wear blue jeans, aren't they appropriating my culture? Or what about black girls wearing blonde weaves? Or how about speaking English? Okay, this is a tough one.
Let me guess. It's tough because you don't have an argument.
Marginalized people conforming to standards set by dominant, or in this case, Western cultures.
Oh no, you're using the Marxism again. Have you ever read Marx?
Is often a means of survival. When your cultural heritage is looked down on, often people change or hide things about themselves in order to be accepted by majority culture. There are people who are literally being forced to assimilate or else. So it's not really a fair comparison.
But it's entirely fair to imply that a black woman might get fired for dyeing her hair blonde when you literally just said that people are getting fired for their braids. Yeah, I'm just checking. And are you seriously telling me that Japanese people dyeing their hair pink is because they're fearful?
So you're saying I should never enjoy another culture? That's not fair. Not at all. For example, say you're invited to an Indian wedding and you're not Indian. Wearing a traditional sari or getting henna would be a great example of cultural exchange. You're being invited to participate and enjoy the culture instead of just picking and choosing parts of it for yourself.
Yes, but invited by whom? Because I thought you just said that one person doesn't represent a culture. Who is it exactly that could invite me to wear corn braids? Do you not see how this is all just rather arbitrary, and whether it's okay or not simply depends on whether you think it's okay? And that's the problem, folks. The idea of cultural appropriation and being offended by it isn't some legitimate intellectual exercise in understanding what is a correct and incorrect way of living. It is merely about control.